Hello once again, everybody. I hope you're doing well, and I got another little model-related goodie to share with you. To quote retired General Trelane, the Squire of Gothos, greetings and felicitations. Today is April 14th, 2021, and today is the 109th anniversary of the tragedy of the sinking of the R.M.S. Titanic. So what I want to show you guys today is I want to show you a special commemorative model that Revell had made. This one goes back to 2012. This was for the 100th anniversary of the Titanic, and I'd like to show you the 1/400th scale 100th anniversary edition of the R.M.S. Titanic. You can see you've got a ghostly image of Captain Smith on the side of the ship, and made by Revell, plastic model kit, 1/400 scale. Now this one does come with 6 paints, brush and glue, and you can see the bottom. I have shown you guys, let's see, the 1/700th Airfix R.M.S. Titanic model that had the paint and glue, and I have shown you a 1/400 scale version of the Titanic as well. That was the Academy. But this one is the Revell, and what drew me to this one was all the little goodies that come with the kit. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing that. And this is kit number 05715. It's a pretty good sized box, so let's take a little time out and we're going to turn it around for you. You can see on the back it has some of the newspaper, the clippings, some pictures on the left-hand side, and on the right-hand side you can see some of the finished photos of the model. Very beautiful model. Well, I'm yet to see a model of the Titanic that's not beautiful, but then again, I'm partial to her. And you can see it says includes Titanic extras, original reprints. So, what I like about this, it actually gives a timeline. So you got 31st of May 1911, 12:15 p.m., Titanic launched in Belfast. Then the next knot shows 2nd of April 1912, Titanic undergoes sea trials. Moving on, you've got April 3rd of 1912, Titanic arrives in Southampton to take on passengers and crew. The next knot, 10th of April 1912, Titanic departs Southampton. April 14th, 1912, 1:45 p.m., America reports ice. And we got April 14th at 9 o'clock p.m., the temperature is 1 degree Celsius. April 14th at 9:40 p.m., ice reports from, let's see, the Mesaba, not delivered to the bridge. That would prove to be a mistake. At 10 p.m. on April 14th, temperature is 0 degrees Celsius. At 11 p.m., the Californian warns of ice, but it's cut off before she can give the location of the ice field. 11:40, Titanic collides with the iceberg. At 12:15, Captain Smith orders lifeboats lowered and the crew mustered. Excuse me. At April 15th, at 12:15 a.m., the wireless call for help is made. April 15th, 12:45 a.m., first boat number 7 is lowered. 2:05 a.m., the last boat is lowered. You can see at 2:10 a.m. the last wireless signals are sent. And then 2:18 a.m. the lights fail. 2:20 a.m. 2:20 a.m. ship's time, the Titanic sinks. 3:30 a.m. the Carpathia's rocket sighted by lifeboats. And this is 8:30 a.m. Last lifeboat, number 12, is picked up. At 8:50, Carpathia leaves for New York with 712 survivors. April 18th, 1912, Carpathia arrives in New York. And 1913, International Ice Patrol is created. 1st of September 1985, at 1:05 a.m., the wreck of the Titanic is discovered. And of course, that was discovered by Dr. Robert Ballard. But that's a whole other video. And let's take a look at what is written on the box. It's got some nice... the box is really nice. I like what they did with the timeline, the pictures, and the pictures of the ship. And it's really a nice touch to make it special. The keel of the Titanic was laid on 31st of March 1909. About 15 weeks after that, her sister ship, the Olympic. Both liners were simultaneously and fitted out the highest levels of elegance and luxury for the period. It was intended that they would both sail in the White Star Line's prestigious transatlantic service. 2 years later, the 31st of May 1911, at Harland and Wolff Shipyard in North Ireland, the completed Olympic was handed over to their new owners, and Titanic was launched at about 15 minutes after noon the same day. With the length of 269.04 meters, a beam of 28.19 meters, and a gross registered tonnage of 46,329 GRT. She was bigger than any ship built before in the 1912 era, and was recognized as the largest ship in the world. Initially, Captain Edward John Smith took command of the Olympic, but later joined Titanic for her maiden voyage, which began on Wednesday, 10th of April 1912, when she set out from Southampton. Ominously, as she was maneuvering out to sea, just missed the New York that was moored in the harbor. Titanic next called the Cherbourg, France, and then Queenstown, Ireland, before making her way to New York, the United States. The crossing proceeded without incident until Sunday, 14th of April, when at 23:40 hours ship's time, the lookout bell rang with iceberg warnings. The ship brushed an iceberg on her starboard side and sank 2 hours later, 40 minutes after the collision with the icy waters of the Atlantic Ocean. Only 712 people survived the catastrophe, and Captain Smith went down with the ship. And it shows that same reading in different languages, because this is Revell, and Revell, to the best of my knowledge, is German. So that's the back of the box. You can see the top side. I'm showing you the warnings. Achtung, I know that's German. Revell.eu, made in Europe, and this was made in 2011 for the release of the 2012. Let me show you the side of the box. The camera focuses. 05715. So it's on the same on the both ends. So let's take it over to the modeling desk and we'll take a look, and I'll show you guys what's inside. Alright, so I put it on the desk and let's get it open. As with all Revell kits, you can see there's only tape that's holding it on. So the box is pretty large, so I want to make sure that I don't damage anything. Alright, that's a little bit better. I want to be able to show you guys everything in detail. And the first thing I want to show you, let's show you the paints. Comes with paint and glue. Let's open it up. Alright, so it comes with a paintbrush. First thing we notice. Boy, if I didn't know better, I'd swear this was already used. Because it's all stiff and stuck together like it's been used for something. Let's take a look at the glue. Now, I have done kits where I've shown you guys that come with glue. You know, this is a lot like the one I showed you, the glow-in-the-dark pirate ship from Revell that I had done for you a while back. It came with the same kind of glue, the Revell glue. Let's see. First, we got the, I want to make sure the camera picks up the color. Number 310. I also have a, I've gotten from Scale Colors, the Titanic colors, specifically for the 1/200 scale trumpeter Titanic, and I got the paint kit, and I'll be showing that to you guys very soon. This one is 331. And here's the gray. This is number 374. And here's the white. 301. I'm thinking this is the deck color. This is 88. And finally, we have the black, which is 302. Now, guys, I don't know if there's anybody out there that actually did this model using these specific paints. I'm wondering if there's enough, because the whole hull basically is going to be black, or 2/3 of the hull is black. The tops of the funnel stacks, and I'm wondering if that's enough. I also have the Airfix 1/400 scale model to show you guys, and that comes with paint and glue as well. Excuse me, I don't know if it comes with glue or not, but I know it comes with the paint. So that's the paint with the paintbrush. And let's move on to the hull. Now, as usual, with Revell, the hull is in two separate parts, or two separate halves. So let's take it out for you. And there are other parts in the bag as well. This would be the port side. Let me show you that beautiful Titanic hull. You can see the bridge going by. B and C, promenades. Well, not B and C, but promenade deck. All the way down to the stern. So it's a pretty good size model. Well, it is 1/400 scale. I don't know, for some reason it seems larger than the Academy that I had shown you. Obviously it can't be because it's the same scale, but it just seems bigger. The inside of the starboard side. Let me show you the starboard side of the hull. Make sure you get to see all that beautiful plating. and this would have to be drilled out. So that was in that first bag, and there's also a couple of trees that are in the first bag as well that look like, I think they're bracing for the hull. There's that one, and the last one that came out of that bag looks like more bracing. And off the top, I'm not sure what that little arrowhead is for, but we'll find out in the instructions. Alright, so let's look at the first bag. This is white, and let's open it up. Alright. You got a lot of tape on it. That's a good thing. You want it nice and protected. So, this first tree has the boat deck, a beautiful boat deck. Let's see if you can get some of the detail on there, the decks, the deck plating or the planking. Also notice on here are the funnels, the funnel tops, the funnel caps. Beautiful. And over here looks like more of the, looks like the ladder for the funnels. I don't see the whistles, maybe they don't have them. And looks like a row of lifeboats, 2 rows. There's some little bit of extra that'll have to be trimmed off. You can see the 2 collapsible lifeboats right there. And looks like 2 generators. So that's what's on the first white tree. Again, let's see what's on. We got a smaller one. This is the top deck, the boat deck, where you see the funnels go. And oh, this is nice. Check this out. Got a beautiful section. You see the windows. Now, if you're going to be lighting this, this might be hard to get to drill. So what I would do is use a really small drill and use it as almost like a router and go through it that way to try to get all of the plastic out, because you got to see the shape of the window, the beautiful shape. So you're going to have to really be careful. Or you can just get an aftermarket photo etch set, take them all out, and then just put photo etch in. Either way, it'd be pretty nice. And looks like we have more railing on that one. Let's see, we got another small tree. Got more of the top deck. It's got some more of the nice... See, the windows on this are open. You can see the doors and the little light. We got where another smokestack's going to go, and we have more railings. And on the bottom, you can see right there. The detail on this kit's pretty nice. And again, if you're going to remove them, you can put photo etch in there or try to drill out the window. Be careful. Very nice. And the last one in this bag, it's a larger tree, and we got more decking. All right, let's show you guys. This is where the aft end. You can see where the cranes go. Nice. Nice detail. You can use the deck paint that came with the kit. Personally, I tried doing the paintbrush, and I'm not a very good painter when it comes to the paintbrush, so I like to use the air gun. So personally, when I do this kit, I will use the paints. I'm going to try doing it, see what it looks like, but I am going to use the air gun and just mask it off, because I tried doing it both ways when I did the win-win, the smaller 1/550 scale Titanic. And yeah, it saves time to do the paintbrush, but for me it just didn't look right. It just looked messy. I like the air gun. I think the air gun looks better because there's no brush strokes, and again, it's probably because I'm not good at painting with the brush. You can see a lot of railings on this one, and more generators. I don't know if those are generators or air vents, but that's everything in the first bag, plastic. Oh, nice. The second bag, I see we actually get rigging. Now, for you guys that are really into the Titanic and the Titanic models, you know that she has a tremendous amount of rigging. That could be a book unto itself on just the rigging from the blueprints of the Titanic. You can see there's quite a bit of rigging here, and it comes on its spool like that. We'll put that over there. Moving on to the next bag. So this is the last bag in the model kit. All right. So these trees are larger, a little bit larger than the last ones that I've shown you. And you can see, once again, the deck, the detail. You can see the benches, the bollards, and what's that over there? Looks like it could be the cranes. You can see the buildings or the bases of the crane. You got the deck, thinking this is B deck, all the way to the back. You see where the cranes go on the bases. You can see the benches. And when we flip it over, you guys can see the anchor crane. And we got the masts. I think those are the masts. I don't know if they go together because they look kind of small for the scale of the model. So let's see if there's more of the mast. You can see these look like the rat lines. And we've got more railings. Beautiful railings. And looks like we have vents, deck vents. You can see the wheel, the rear docking wheel that goes at the aft end of the ship on the poop deck, the observation platform. It looks like we have more generators. And let me show you this the right way. I got this really nice. I want to make sure you can see the detail in that. And it looked like that would have been the right way for that section. You see the doors. And we got more railings. Up there. And what do we have left is the wheelhouse and the bridge. And again, look at the detail at the bottom, the windows and the doors. Beautiful. So that's the first piece. And this bag only had 2 pieces in it, 2 large trees. So what we have now is we've got the aft end, or poop deck, and you can see all of the bollards and the benches where the cranes are going to go. Very nice. Then you have all the way at the stern where the anchor crane is going to go. Got the anchors, the bollards, the first cargo hatch door, and you got the deck. Very nice. And then it looks like we have more of the decking, and looks like more cranes or bases of the cranes. And then again we have some very nice walls. I think they're A deck, B deck walls. I'm sorry about that. I just want to make sure you see the detail in it. And again, I'm sure they make aftermarket photo etch pieces for this. And when you flip it over, you can see the ends where the propeller shafts are going to come out. And there's a, looks like a plaque or plate, and there's nothing on it, so it's probably decals that go on there. You can see the bottoms or the end pieces of the base. Next up we have the rudder. Each half of the rudder. And more pieces of the walls. So that's what's on this section, or tree. Get the bag out, and this is moving on to what I've really been looking forward to. We actually finally get to see all of the stuff, the little extras. Actually, before I do that, let me show you guys the instructions and the decals just kind of fell over, so I want to show you those first. Showing you the base. Didn't have any writing on it, and this is the reason why. This is a very nice plaque for a nice display that will go on to the base. You can see the British flag that goes on the stern, and you got the White Star flag, and you got the American flag. And I love it. Look, you can even see the, I don't know if you can read that. Come on, please focus. The signs advising caution. It's a nice touch. We have Titanic, R.M.S. Titanic out of Liverpool, and we have the gold striping, which is always nice to have that as a decal, at least with me, because trying to get the masks on and trying to do it that way is pretty time-consuming, difficult, and it's still, at least the way I do it, it comes out looking, well, crappy. I know the trumpeter one has decals set as well for the stripe. Let me show you the instruction sheet, and you can see it's the finished model. You see the base I was telling you about. Look pretty nice. And this is the same wording that was on the box. If you want to pause this video, you can read it. So let's open it up and show you guys what's inside. First page is a lot of caution, and the second one is the symbols used for the keys. And I'll put pictures up. The pictures will show you everything that's on the page. And you can see the color coding. And then we get to the layout where they show you the do an inventory on all the parts. All the trees that we went over. All right, step 1 is the base. Step 2 is the hull. You can see the bilge keels going on, and yeah, those cross H's were bracing for the hull. In step 3, excuse me, the formation of the rudder. Step 4, the propellers. Step 5, you're gonna paint the hull and attach it to the base, and you can see you do the anchors. Octun, or attention, it shows you the tools to use to cut the pieces off of the tree. And it shows you where to glue. Down to part 6. It shows you the start of the rigging. You can see where you anchor it. Kind of like what I did on the Win-Win model. Start very early, and then just you're able to pull them up. And we got step 7. You can see the back end of the ship. Step 8 is over at the bow. 9 is where you start to put the walls on. Might be where you want to start thinking about removing the windows and drilling out. If you're going to light it. You can start to put the details on. "15" shows you how to paint the benches. 17, more detail. 18, the addition of the deck vents. And then when you get to step 19, you're going to start working on the cranes. And I like how you use rigging for the cranes as well. Placement of the cranes, and it shows you how to get the railing to fit. And you got 21, a little staircase, 22, and 23. Placement of the rear cranes and the staircase in the back. Moving on to step 24, it shows you the front, or the deck well cranes. The cargo hatches are. And moving on to put the walls on the top deck. A lot of railing parts in this section. Again, if you want to pause the video and check out the instruction sheet, because what I'm going to do is I'll put a picture of the page, well, like I usually do in all my videos. If you guys, maybe some of you don't have the instructions, or you lost them, or you got a model that doesn't have them, you can go through this, pause them, and you can actually use these instructions for your kit. And what I do is, before I show you a section or a page, I'll put up a photograph of the entire page, just to let you know what's included on that page. This is part 34. You can see more use of the rigging, getting everything ready. 35. Got 36. Looks like the placement of the collapsible lifeboat. 37. Things around the grand staircase. I believe that's the grand staircase. Oh, something else fell out. I'll show you that in a minute. Part 38. More railing. And you got the formation of the compass platform. 39. 40. More rails. 41. Yep, more rails. I'm sorry. It looks like generators and more deck vents. 42 is the placement of the compass tower. 43 is the base for the smokestack. You got more railings around another smokestack area. And then the placement of it onto the main deck. And 46. And all of this is coded for the colors that they want you to paint it. More of the rigging. Obviously, anytime you see the spool in the instructions, it means you got to use the rigging. 49. And then placement of everything that you made. It's going to be really exciting. I think every model of the Titanic is exciting, whether it's, you know, a $500 trumpeter 1/200 scale, or a win-win scale, a win-win 550 scale, or the tiny little models that I've shown you. I've shown you guys quite a bit of Titanic model kits. I just love the Titanic and love modeling. You just seem to have too many models. You know, you're gonna need a lot of time to make them. 57 is a placement of the smokestacks. And what I like about this kit is you actually do the rigging. They show you how to do the rigging for the smokestacks, keep them in place. I had done that for the Win-Win. It didn't have instructions for it, but I did put them on. I think it came out, well, kind of respectable. But I'm sure this will look a lot better. And I use thread. This is a special, the rigging. And you can see the front of the wheelhouse and the bridge. And when we get to part 60, now we got the lifeboats. You can see the attaching the string for the lifeboats. It's a good idea. So it looks more realistic. 64, the addition of the masts and the rat lines and the forward mast, the rat lines and the colors. And you see the crow's nest. And we got more rigging. Moving on to part 66. I love how they do the diagram for the rigging. Interestingly enough, the Titanic from Trumpeter, you know, the really expensive, fantastic 1/200 scale model, has nothing at all with the rigging. Not even a reference. So I'm glad that Revell had included that in the kit, the directions, so we can, mostly everybody that's familiar with the Titanic know about the Marconi lines, but not a lot of people know exactly how to put the rigging as she looked when she would sail. And this would be the, looks to be the placement of the decals, or when you're taking out the windows if you're going to light it. You can see a nice diagram of the ship. It shows the decal placement. And it goes all the way to the last page. Titanic Museum in Germany. Titanic Museum, Germany. I'd love to see that. And if you want to read that, you can pause and check it out. And on the back page, it shows you more of the special limited edition that this model comes with. And it's the same thing about the museum, but it's written in different languages. So, that's the instruction sheet. Nice. And I told you something had fallen out of the instruction sheet when I was getting the decals. So let me show you guys what this is. And this looks just to be like more safety advice and information in different languages, just advising caution for the build. All right, now we get to the part that I really wanted to look forward to. Let's see, what do we have first? And these are embossed, so that's really nice. And you can see the words reprint on there, so nobody tries to get wise and sell them for big money. The star is embossed and the photograph is embossed. This is so awesome. It shows the menu. Now, let me get a little bit. I want to be able to. Now, I don't know if these are actual size. I have menus to show you guys from the SS United States. And those menus are really large. I don't know if these are actual size of the menus that were on the Titanic. You can see a nice photograph of the ship. And of course the white star line. R.M.S. Titanic, April 14th, 1912. Hors d'oeuvres, oysters. Yeah, what is that? Consomme, cream of barley, salmon, chicken, lyonnaise, vegetable, marrow, farci, lamb with mint sauce, roast duckling, applesauce, let's see, sirloin of beef, chateau potatoes, that'd be my favorite, with the sirloin of beef, green peas, creamed carrots, boiled rice, wow, sounds good, Waldorf pudding, French ice cream for dessert, chocolate vanilla eclairs. So this is really, really nice. You can see Museum of Germany on the back. So this is embossed, very nice. And again, I don't know if that's actual size. It probably went in here. Let me see, it's got like a little sleeve on it. And I don't want to just rip it off. Actually, let me show you what the sleeve says. Postcards of an old era with the Titanic, early advertising, and a sister ship, R.M.S. Olympic, from the Titanic Museum. So these are the postcards. And the first postcard is of the, you can see the TSS Titanic. She's very pretty, very nice oil painting. White star line. Postcard Titanic, TMG, from the archive collection of the Titanic Museum of Germany. And that's where you put the stamp and the addressee. So that's a very nice opening postcard. Let's see, what do we got next? I like this picture. It shows the length of the Titanic, surpassing the greatest buildings and memorials on Earth. You can see Olympic, Titanic, the White Star Line's new triple screw steamers, largest and finest in the world. And it's got the same backing. I don't know how many of you watching are lucky enough to have actual real articles from the Titanic. A postcard, a menu. If you do or know of anyone that does, we'd love to put a link in the description. I'd love to see that. Let's see the White Star Line. It looks like there's some writing Olympic and Titanic. You can see a nice schooner. Another beautiful oil painting. And on the back, it's the same. So you've got the sleeve. It's the only thing remaining. So I'm liking it so far. And lastly, we have, looks like a book. Oh, this is nice. I'm loving this. Okay. This is the White Star Line, and this is the R.M.S. Olympic, 46,439 tons. Southampton, Cherbourg, New York. And again, it says reprint on the upper right-hand corner. And it's nice and heavy, printed on heavy paper. So the first thing you notice when you open it up, White Star Line, triple screw, R.M.S. Titanic, 46,439 tons. Throughout the long period which has passed since the first White Star flag flew over a British merchant steamer, one of the most constant aims of the company has been to that of providing their passengers with the greatest amount of comfort attainable aboard ship. This policy, the development of which has been largely responsible for the success of the line, was dedicated upon as far back as 1870, when the first Oceanic was laid down in the yard of the world-famous firm of Messrs. Harland and Wolff at Belfast. This vessel was quite a certain important was diminutive craft, as ships go today, and yet she embodied in her construction certain important departures in naval architecture, which have attained their maximum development in that gigantic floating palace, the Olympic. The latter ship is 46,439 tons gross. The first Oceanic was 3,808 tons. She was, however, an Olympic in embryo. By some contemporary shipbuilders, the ship was regarded as revolutionary. It marked her divergence from then existent designs of ocean liners. She was, in her palatal descendants of today, the majestic 56,000 tons, the world's largest liner, the Olympic, 46,439 tons, and the Homeric, 34,692 tons. And it goes on to talk about it. This is for the Olympic. You can see how very much the Olympic looked like the Titanic. The main staircase. And you know, it just kills me, guys. The Olympic was actually sold for scrap in 1934. I mean, why would you scrap a ship that looks like this? Absolutely gorgeous. She was the closest thing that we had left to the Titanic, and she was scrapped. That just makes me sick. This is the reception room. Another picture of the reception room. Absolutely gorgeous. very easy to get the two ships. At least for me, it's too easy to get the two ships mixed up. The Olympic and the Titanic. This is the reception room. And I wouldn't be surprised if I've seen some of these pictures and actually thought they were the Titanic. This is the lounge. Another picture of the lounge. This is the a la carte restaurant. Beautiful. This is the reading and writing room. And remember, this is aboard the R.M.S. Olympic. This is the smoking room. Absolutely stunning. And in the middle of the book, we have a wider shot. This is the dining saloon. Let's see if I can pan it for you. Beautiful picture. And this is the Cafe Parisian. Now I know they had a Cafe Parisian on the Titanic. And since this book is about the Olympic, I'm guessing they had the same thing on the Olympic as well, with the same name. This is the Veranda Cafe. Again, the same name. That would be on the Titanic. This is a first-class stateroom. The majority of the staterooms are fitted with bedsteads instead of the usual sleeping berths, and in the suite rooms, these bedsteads are in many cases 4 feet in width. One thing I noticed about going through the video and pictures of the Titanic, I guess people weren't very tall back then. A lot of the beds looked very small, at least to me anyway. I mean, I'm 6'3", and my feet overhang my bed now. I can imagine being in some of those small rooms, or the small beds. But to be on a Titanic, it would be more than worth it. Here's a suite room. Perhaps the most striking features of the ship are the suite rooms, of which there is an unusually large number, decorated in different styles and periods. Another picture of a first-class stateroom. Beautiful, look at that. The Turkish baths, again, they had the same thing on the Titanic. I mean, they will never make another line of ships like these, especially the Titanic. They would just never, never be another Titanic. Here's a photo of the gymnasium. It looks very, very, very much like the one that's on the Titanic, or the pictures of the one that's on the Titanic. And a swimming bath. Personally, I don't think I've seen a picture of the first-class swimming bath of the Titanic. I mean, I'm pretty sure she has them, but I've just never seen a picture of it. Another very popular innovation is the swimming bath, which is installed on board. Nice. Because you may be on the ocean, but I'm sure they don't let you just jump off and play in the water. So it's nice to have a bath or a pool. Olympic, as she left New York. Beautiful picture, huh? The impressive photograph shows the Olympic, one of the world's largest oil-burning steamers, leaving New York, and the number on board alone speak for the popularity of this great vessel. And this is another picture of the R.M.S. Olympic in mid-Atlantic. A snapshot taken of the Olympic from the Baltic whilst both were in the mid-Atlantic. Now, it was the Olympic. You guys watch my videos. I like to do different histories of different ships. And the light ship, LLV, I think 117, was actually destroyed and cut in half by the R.M.S. Olympic. And that's why the White Star Line had paid for its replacement, LLV 112, for the Nantucket lightship. And that was made to Navy specifications. When the Olympic hit it, the boat was cut in two and sank in 29 seconds. And here's a deck view, showing an expansive of an airy deck upon which passengers can take exercise and imagine themselves on a delightful shore promenade. And the last page, we got the White Star Line American Service, the R.M.S. Majestic, 55,000 tons, the R.M.H. Homeric, 34,000 tons. Shows you a list of different ships. I'll make sure you guys can read that. And that's the last of the book. You can see again the German Titanic Museum, triple screw, the Olympic, 46,434 tons. You can see the White Star Line, and you can see where this was originally folded in half. They did a great job with this copy. And this is, of course, of the R.M.S. Olympic, not the Titanic. But it's the closest thing we have to the Titanic. And that, my friends, is everything that's in the box. This is quite a model kit. It comes with a lot of history. I absolutely love the extras that it comes with. I think you will too if you're a Titanic fan. I don't know how popular this model is or how hard to find. Personally, for me, it was hard to find. It took a while for me to actually be able to get it. The ones that are online are pretty expensive, but I was able to get it for a good price. And it was well worth it for me just because, you know, Titanic, I just wanted to get these. Now, I do have some other things that I'll be showing you guys that are reprints from the originals when it comes to Titanic memorabilia. I showed you guys the first class passenger list from the Titanic. I've shown you different things, and I have, because today marks the anniversary that the ship hit an iceberg. This is April 14th, 2021. I'll be doing a couple of 100 anniversary videos for you. This one from R.M.S. Titanic, Revell. The Revell company made this as a 100th anniversary. And it has now been 109 years since the sinking of the R.M.S. Titanic. And I'll be showing you guys more Titanic stuff. Unfortunately, again, it's all reproductions and copies, but they're the copies that are taken from the real thing. So that makes it interesting, to say the least. But this video was for the R.M.S. Titanic, the 100th anniversary edition. The 1/400 scale plastic model kit, R.M.S. Titanic, that came with paint, glue, and the paintbrush. And I thank you guys for watching. As usual, I hope you enjoyed the video as much as I enjoyed making it. And I'll talk to you guys very, very soon. Have a great day.